Welcome to Cooking for Real. It is winter in New England. We've got 4 inches of snow on the ground and another storm circling overhead as we speak. So it is a perfect day to make beef stew. Now before we get started, if you could like, share, comment, subscribe, and don't forget to hit that bell so that you get notified every time I put up a new video. Let's get started. All right, what I have here is about 1.5 pounds of stew beef. And I'm going to put some very simple seasoning in here. Okay, I've got kosher salt that I'm putting about 1.5 pinches in the bag. And then pepper. I decided to give Misfits Market a shot, and I got a lot of really nice vegetables in it. Here I have, this is fresh parsley that I chopped up. It's not even a quarter of the bunch. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my flour and add, what is this? This is a 2 tablespoon measurer, so we're going to add 4 tablespoons. Let's seal this bag and mush it. You've seen me do this before. It works really well. I like to add the parsley at this stage because I actually want to taste the parsley, so I want it to be a part of the browning process and be in the mix from the very beginning. What I have here is a cast iron pan. I am heating it up just a little bit because it honestly won't take long to get hot. And I'm going to take all of that beef that I just pre-seasoned with, again, it's flour, salt, pepper, and fresh parsley, and right into the pan it goes. And we're going to saute this up, get it nice and brown on all sides. Now here's another thing I got from Misfits Market. This is a gourmet mushroom mix, and it has baby bello, shiitake, and oyster mushrooms in it. I'm not going to cut these up. I'm going to put them right in here with the meat. And I'm doing that, not cutting it up, I mean, because mushrooms actually shrink up kind of a lot when they cook. They also release a lot of liquid, so I wanted to wait until this browning was closer to the end. And they already look beautiful. In this pot, what I already have is 4 cups of beef broth warming up, and I only put 4 cups because there's going to be a lot of liquid coming out of the things that are cooking in here as well. So because I want a nice thick sauce, I don't want to overdo it with the liquid. What I'm doing right now is adding in those browned bits of beef and mushroom. Now what I have here is something else I got from Misfits Market. This is green onions. I took about 2 of them and I cut them all up rough directly into the pot. That's going to be it for right now. We'll come back in a little bit when I'm going to add some potatoes, and then even a little bit later when I add some green beans. Now, while I'm a fan of Misfits Market, I am kind of dismayed by the fact that, you know, I did get the small box and I ordered potatoes and they sent me 2. But I'm going to peel these up and cut them up, and they're going to go into the stew. Now the last thing I got from Misfits Market that's going in this stew is actually this really giant bunch of green beans. I'm going to prepare them by cleaning them, stringing them if I can, and cutting them into, you know, fork-sized pieces. So they actually sent me so much green beans that I'm only actually using about half of them. So I cut them up to, you know, maybe an inch, half an inch. Half an inch seems about right. And I'm going to put them in the fridge right now because we like our green beans to have a little still crispness to them. Yeah, I'll put them in the last hour of cooking just to retain that beautiful crispness. I'm also turning the crock pot down to low. It's been going for about 2 hours now, so it's time for it to just simmer. I'm about to make a roux for the gravy. I'm looking for a nice thick gravy, and for me, roux is kind of the easiest way to do it. Now it does go quick once it gets moving. I have here 2 tablespoons of butter, and once that melts, I am going to add 2 tablespoons of flour, and we'll whisk them together. You can see that butter is just about melted. And in goes 2 tablespoons of flour and just start whisking. To the side, I have reserved 1 cup of the broth from the beef stew. Once this is all incorporated, you want to cook it a little bit longer until it smells a little nutty. I can smell that now, so we're going to start drizzling in that retained broth. Look at that, look at it clump right up. Well, it's going too fast, so in with the broth. Whisk, whisk, whisk. I'm sure you can see the thickness already happening here. Now I'm just giving this a last minute whisk to make sure there's no lumps in there, even though I did get a little of the green onion in there, so it can be a bit deceiving. Let me show you this. See, you can see the thickness. And this is going directly in. Get all of that in there. And then just stir it in and continue to let it simmer. Oh, it looks wonderful and smells amazing. Here we are, about an hour out. Before dinner time, I am taking these green beans out of the freezer, refrigerator, and they are going right into that pot. Those should have a nice crispness on them when we go to eat, instead of being soggy and overdone. Well, this stew's been cooking all day, and we've added the last of the ingredients about an hour ago. Gonna give it a nice stir here. Let's see if we can't get ourselves a sample. That's enough to give it a try. You should always try your food before you serve it. All right, here it is, the moment of truth. The meat is tender. The seasoning is perfect. Remember, we didn't go overboard. This was simple salt and pepper and parsley. And that was dredged in the flour. And then we browned it on the stove. And it really seeped into the flavoring of this food. We got a lot of additional flavor from the mushrooms and the green onions. And this is a very hearty, delicious New England stew. Thank you for joining me on Cooking for Real today, where I made a beautiful beef stew with my products from Misfits Market on this cold, snowy New England day.